She was running, her converse pounding on the cement sidewalk. The night was still, the silence broken only by her screams for help. The black SUV came around the corner as Kendal Blake took a sharp right into the parking garage, the SUV trailing her, its tires squealing as they sped around the corners. Suddenly, she felt a force hitting her from behind, and before she knew it, she was flailing through the air. The SUV had hit her. She hit the hood of a vintage red Chevy Camaro. She heard the doors of the SUV slamming shut as she rolled off the car. She hit her head sharply on the cement. And as she began to pass out, she saw two men in suits and a woman wearing a black pencil skirt, a white silk blouse tucked into her skirt. She was adjusting them both. Black heels. One man's tie was gray. Kendal Blake was a stubborn and barely disciplined 17-year-old girl. She wasn't sure when, but at some point she had gone from being an obedient, ladylike, smartly dressed, well-educated child and into an angry, rebellious teen. What she was rebelling against she wasn't absolutely sure of, but she knew she felt comfortable around the kids who just didn't give a shite. They dressed in black, listened to death metal, and drew their eyes on as black and smudgy as they could. Her parents had given her everything she ever needed or asked for, but most of her friends came from broken homes, and their parents treated them like garbage. Kendall's parents were married, and they loved her. She just didn't feel like she was one of them. She had two siblings, but Kendal was the only child who had been adopted. Some shrink told her once that she was angry about not being loved and wanted by her original parents, but in reality, she didn't think that that was true. She just felt different and acting out, a little shoplifting here, skipping school there, maybe a drink or two, whatever. Maybe it was a phase, like some other shrink had told her parents. Who cares, man? Life is short. Live it like you want, you know? She'd say to these garbage kids, and they'd all agree and yell, yeah, forget them. Kendal had been placed in the hospital 3 times. Her parents had another doctor tell them that she had a mental illness. He wasn't quite sure what one, but the hospital visits were supposed to work all that out. But all they did was drug her up, make her feel like her brain wasn't working, spinning out of control. She escaped twice. She'd been placed in juvie for the shoplifting twice. Her parents begged the judge to keep her in there so she could get some help, but it was crowded, and her parents had paid for the stuff she'd stolen, so they kicked her loose. Her bedroom door had been removed from the hinges because privacy is earned, and she'd been repeatedly told that trust is hard to win, but easily lost. Yeah, no kidding. Just give me some space to figure me out, she would think. She'd even been sent to teen camp, which was basically survival camp. Once she went to go live in the woods and survive by eating what she could catch. She did that for 3 months before they decided that it wasn't working. She was still rebellious, getting into fights with the other kids and counselors. Next, she was woken up at 3 a.m. and taken to a desert camp, where it was hot as hell, and she was made to wear a pack and act like she was in the military. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. May I take a pee, sir? May I punch this punk right here in the throat, ma'am? They sent her packing, too, and that camp had been so tough, they'd eventually gotten shut down. She woke up dazed, confused, trying to remember what had happened. Ugh, what? Where am I? She wondered. Her body was curled up. It was dark, but she could hear road noises, feel bumps. She was in a freaking trunk. Hey! She kicked out her feet as much as she could with very little room. Hey, let me out! You have no idea who you're messing with. The car stopped. She could hear heels clickety-clacketing on the road. The trunk popped open and she saw the woman. She was quickly taken back by the slap across the face. She tried to punch at her, but when she did, she was tasered. Now you listen to me, little girl, spat the woman. You don't know who you're messing with, got it? I'm in charge here, and I don't want to hear a single word coming out of your mouth, or I'll tase your butt all night long. I have nothing but time here. Silence. Do you understand me? She yelled, spit flying on the Kendal's cheek. Yeah, geez. Why so worked up? Guess this is my new camp, huh? Well, I'd beat better. The woman slapped her again. Don't talk one more time. Kendal didn't. This was different. No one had ever been allowed to lay a hand on her before. Holy crap. She had really done it this time. The trunk slammed shut and the vehicle began to move again. It was then that Kendal realized that she still had her cell phone in her pocket. She quickly pushed 1, which was her mother's phone number. Beep, beep, beep. This number is either not working. Kendal hung up and called back. What the hell? She thought. Then she pushed number 2 for her dad. We're sorry. This number is either not working or has been disconnected. What? Again, she dialed the number 2. Same message. Suddenly, the vehicle came to a stop. It was rolling onto gravel. Once it stopped, she heard another car roll in. The driver's door of the vehicle she was in opened and closed. Then 2 more doors did the same. The other car, she thought. She started kicking and screaming for help then, hoping that someone would hear her. Then she heard a woman let out a gasp and a cry. Mom? Mom! Is that you? Mom! Outside in the gravel parking lot stood Kendal's mother and father. They handed over $100,000 to the woman in the pencil skirt. Kendal's mother was tightly holding her hands over her mouth. Kendal's father pulling her in closely. Kendal screaming from the trunk. When the lady in the skirt said, I've got this. You're doing the right thing, ma'am. Get back in your car, go the other way, and don't look back. Kendal was calling out now, Mom, is that you? Mom, help me! Mom, I'll be better. I promise. She heard 2 doors open and close and the tires rolling off the gravel. Slowly. Then the trunk opened and the woman in the skirt told her to stop talking. No one will hear you. Soon the car was moving again, and Kendal knew she wasn't going to be going back home.